Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide, and in today's video we are checking out the Boox Go 7 color. So this is the latest iteration of their 7-inch readers that started their life as Boox Leaf, then it was Leaf 2, then it was Page, which was an excellent device, and now it's actually rebranded as the Go series. Even though it's pretty much exactly the same housing and everything as the Page, but this time it has a Kaleido 3 screen on it, so that means colors. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to check out. But before we dive in, two things. First, this unit has been sent to me by Boox, but I don't get to keep it, I get to return it, and they don't have any say in the video, they don't even see the video before you guys, so my opinion is my own and my findings are my own. The second thing is that if you do value the independence of my deep guide and you would like to support it in some way, well, you can like the video, you can subscribe to the channel, or you can also go to mydeepguide.com/shop, and then you can check out the MDO, or My Daily Organizer, which is a hyperlinked PDF file that helps you organize all of your professional or personal yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily needs. And you can also find the MMP, which is My Deep Guide Meeting Planner, also a hyperlinked PDF file that helps you centralize, simplify, and organize all of your meeting planning needs. More information about both of these you can find in the description below in the hyperlinked playlist there, to find if these are products for you or not. And now onwards with the Go Color 7 unboxing and first impressions only, because that's what I do here, and then I can test it and bring you the in-depth review a little later. And here we are, we have the Go Color 7 cover, and much more importantly, the Go Color 7 reader. All right, so what we have here is the Kaleido 3 powered version of their Leaf 2, Page, and now it's called Go Color 7. So I'm expecting to see the same type of device in there. The specifications are, well, there's the resolution, but the important bit is that it's 300 ppi black and white, 150 ppi in color content. Front light, it's octa-core with 4 GB of LPDDR4X RAM. So one of the bad things about Leaf was that it was underpowered. They addressed that in Page, and they continue to have it really well powered in the Go Color 7 as well. It has 64 GB of storage, touch capacitive, not writing capable, Android 12, Wi-Fi connectivity, USB connectivity, of course, Bluetooth connectivity, 2300 milliamp battery, has a microphone, speaker, yes it does have a micro SD card slot, and water repellent design, not water resistant, water repellent design, and 6.4 millimeters thin. All right, so let's now open this up and see what we get inside. And here we go. So we can pop the device out, nice and light-ish, feels good. Okay, and what do we get in the accessories box? USB-C cable, micro SD card tool, and the supporting documentation. So bog standard packaging here with the Boox Go Color 7. Let's move this out of the way and focus on the star of the show. All right, let's get the device out of the cover. And this is the black version, and they have the white version as well. And the white version is shown all over the place, and the white version, this is exactly the same like what they had with the Page. They are not identical versions. The black version is an flat, so the screen is flat and flush with the surface, while in the white version it does have an indentation. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But overall, this is pretty much the identical type of housing feel and look, and the dimensions like the Page. There is nothing wrong with that. It's actually, well, there's one thing wrong with that, and that is that I don't like that there's absolutely no spacing whatsoever between the buttons. If anything, their manufacturing process has gotten even more precise, and the the division between the buttons is even harder to detect. So that was something that it's impressive to see the build quality and the manufacturing quality getting to be so precise. So that's kind of lovely. But on a practical side of things, I for example really like to have a divide between these two, so that I can know which button is which just by, you know, my thumb understands what's what, and I'm not looking for oh, is that a notch or not, which am I going to press, especially if I'm just holding like this. Then it was an opportunity to actually fix that. In reality, I think this is kind of weird, because their default orientation is like this, and this is how the device was oriented, but the power button is here, which indicates that I would want the power button to be on top, and that the orientation of the device should be this, but then everything else is upside down. So I guess if this is the orientation, that's how it's been packed, that's how it's been displayed, the power button is on the bottom of the device, I guess. Then we have on the side, we have everything, and that would be the USB-C for data communication and charging. We got two speakers here. No, we got one speaker and one microphone, which is faking itself to be a speaker, and we have the micro SD card expansion slot here. Nothing on the opposite side, and as I said, on the bottom we have the power with the LED indicator. On the back we have this cardboard paper like type of surface, which is really nice to the touch. This is also what they're calling water repellent type of surface, so not waterproof, and this really does feel good. It does feel genuinely like a book. It doesn't feel like plastic, it feels like handling paper. I'm not sure how they managed to do it, but they did, and that's something that I really do appreciate. The ergonomics of the device, again, it's the same as Page, and Page was excellent in everything except the division between the buttons, so that's a good thing. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. So we have this all of this goodness in a good package with the addition of the color screen. So let's power it up and see, just give it some documents and some stuff so that we can actually see what's it like at handling color images, and just a first impression. Yeah. Now that I've unboxed it, I can do all the tests, but I want to just give it like a document or two just to kind of see what kind of display quality are we talking about. Well, alrighty, so I've done the first power up. It immediately had an update to version 3.5.3, so I let it update to that. I just done the initial stuff so I can test initial things, such as I went into the Google Play Store, logged in, everything is there. You don't have any weird activation process or anything like that. It just works, so that was great. The performance is okay. I mean, this is not a BSR enabled device, so you need to kind of keep that in mind, and for that the performance is okay. In the e-ink center we have slight changes. I mean, it's still the same type of setting that you have: color brightness, vividness, and dark color enhancements. The only thing is that it's now wrapped up into this optimal, vivid, or custom profiles, which is actually a nice thing, because you don't have to deal with things constantly, and you can also create your own custom profile, and then it will work. The only thing that would be even better is if we had an option to customize the optimal and vivid options to our preferences, right? And then you can reset it to the factory ones whenever you want. As far as the refresh modes go, we got normal, speed, and A2, and depending on which mode you are in, it's going to have different settings. But there's a bit of inconsistencies here. So for example, this one is called speed, but if you go into more, it's actually called balanced. That's balanced fast and X only, and we actually don't have balanced fast or X on this device. These are remnants of the previous ones, so not really that good. Normal and regal only, yes, that applies to this one, because then you can use normal. So if I switch to A2 mode, this will be the fastest refresh rates, and again without BSR, fairly impressive how it goes, but the ghosting is absolutely there, so you will see quite a bit of ghosting in the A2 mode. But for browsing or reading web articles or things like that, I think that this works really well, and it's quite impressive to see how much they can get out of the Kaleido 3 panel without the BSR technology, which is actually quite cool, considering that the BSR will deplete the battery so quickly. So that's the A2 mode. The speed mode definitely increases the quality but decreases the speed quite a bit as well, so this is very choppy. This can also be used maybe for some news browsing or article reading browsing, where you swipe only occasionally, so you swipe and then you read, then you swipe and then you read. So for that type of usability, I think that it would work well. And a normal is the highest quality, but this is absolutely not for scrolling type of activities. So that's just a basic overview of the color modes here. Color profiles we will check a little bit later on, and what I've installed is Kindle Kobo and Google Drive, so that I can download 2 of the test documents that I normally use. I won't be going into any in-depth reviewing here, because this is unboxing and first impressions, but I do want to open up a few documents and see what it is that we're talking about here and what kind of quality can we expect. So first I'm going to start with a regular document, and this document is something that I use constantly on these reviews. So it's a good reference point for me, because I know what to expect. So let's just see here if I can make it fit with, or actually just let's fit screen, that works well. So this is how we have it with the front light set fairly high. So I'm just going to disable the front light altogether. You won't be able to see much of a difference here because of the well-lit conditions in this light box, but let's start with this and see how it actually looks like. And so far the performance, this is in normal mode, is what I would expect it to be. The auto rotation should work. If it's enabled, then it's not, so we need to get to rotation, enable, and you can set it to rotate only vertically or horizontally, but I do want it to rotate in all directions. So I'm gonna flip it here, and again we have that kind of behavior which is not desired. I wish that we could set it so that you know, that the behavior is when I flip it that it fits to width, but theoretically you can, because once you fit to width it will know that it needs to fit to width no matter what you do. So okay, sure, we can do that. Now the second thing that I'm gonna do before I continue testing is get rid of this navigation ball. So there we go, navigation ball off. And I also want to make it distraction free, so notifications mute and do not disturb on. There you go. So now I have a distraction free reader device that has color capabilities. So first impressions, readability, very good. There's almost as if there is some kind of, there's almost some kind of filtering going on. I'm not entirely 100% sure what it is. I'll need to spend time, but you can see it would be unfair to characterize the rendering of characters as not sharp or something, but there's something about it. I'm not sure. Something about it that makes them appear a little fuzzy. I keep squinting at it, and that's not what I had when I was testing previously and going through the stuff with the Libra 2 and the Clara, for example. But this is the type of functionality that I would expect from it. So then we go to the refresh mode, into the fast mode, and this will degrade the quality but should increase the responsiveness by a big degree. Pinch to zoom is now enabled and it works really well. So that octa-core CPU and a bump in specifications, especially when you of course switch it to speed mode, makes this a really powerful and capable device. Okay, so let's go back to fit width and just give it a bit more just to see how well it performs. I think that this is perfectly fine. So let's fit on screen and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we've gone 10 pages forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we've gone 10 pages backwards. So the responsiveness is good and it behaves the way I would expect it to in a PDF document. So that's good. I'm gonna just return it back to the normal or regal refresh mode so that we have good quality. And also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to contrast. I'm gonna enable image smoothing, and so that we disable the color banding and basically enable a color filtering here, and just see how that works. And I think it's working really well. So general performance and general expectations from a Boox reader type of device, I think that first impressions are really good. So now let's go on to a more demanding type of a document. So no, I do not want to OCR anything. I just want to check things out. All right, so this is a color magazine type of content, and with the image filtering, you can see that the dithering is really good. Let's get rid of this in the bottom, and let's see here. I believe global settings, and I don't want the status bar, and again in PDF settings I don't want to see page breaks, right? And automatically fit width, yes, and don't show boundary lines. Okay, so now we should have a cleaner affair. Let's see. Yes, so now it's a much cleaner type of a document in Reader. And I think that the image quality is quite good. This looks very clean, very sharp. Regal refresh mode cleans things up fairly nicely. Let's see. So now when I go back, we should have some. Very little. There is some, but it's very little. You can eliminate that completely if you go to the settings here, and then you can adjust when the full refresh mode happens. So if you set full refresh mode, for example, to 1, normal depth, full refresh rate 1. That's how it should work. So let's see. Okay, so the depth is the one that fully refreshes the whole thing. And then you have 0 ghosting. Yes, it will be slower, but this will give you the best image quality that the device is capable of delivering, and the best ghosting quality that the device is capable of delivering. So I'm gonna go through this one in this mode a little bit, just to see like what the device is capable of and how the panel has been calibrated. Now with the Boox platform, again there's this weird fuzziness. I mean, this is not as sharp as I would expect it to be, and this is a little bit fuzzy for my taste. Usually this is supposed to be a bit more as if there's like a filter over everything, and I'm just kind of checking, did I enable something that I shouldn't? There's something about it. There is definitely something about it. The color rendition is really good. There's a little bit of kind of tint to it. Yeah, there's a bit of a tint to it. So the quality is as good as I've seen it on the Libra Color. I think that this is just a matter of taste, and this is something that you can absolutely adjust by using contrast or colored color checks. So let's see if it's optimal. If this then makes it, yes, less of a tint. Okay, so I was simply reacting to the settings that were here. So you have vivid and you have optimal. It's a relatively small difference, but you can see here in the mountains, when it's optimal, it's not really exploded, it's more equal and it's fine. When I go to optimal, we get these patches that are kind of strange. So let's go to custom and let's turn everything off so that we just see the device itself, what it is doing. Let's go again. This was a little bit weird. So not color brightness. I'm trying to get the color brightness down, but it's interfering with the bottom gestures. There we go, that worked. Okay, so and then I exit. Okay, so yes, now it's better. Okay, so what I was reacting to was actually the color profiles that they were using on top. Now once I actually reset everything to 0, this is what this is way more similar to what we see on Libra Color, and this is something that I really do like. Still, the fuzziness of the text is still there, and you can really see it quite clearly down here. That's not usual. That's not normal. That's why I use the same document over and over, because then I can immediately detect this, and there's something going on that's not usual. It's the rendition of characters, I think. So maybe there is like a boldening of characters setting that's set as a default. Text enhancement. There we go. Is that a thing? Yes. So text enhancement is, yes, absolutely. So okay, I found the setting. This is kind of strange because you're like, yeah, and now it's actually normal. So you can see now without text enhancements that we have a way more expected type of result. So this is kind of unfortunate to see that the default settings are really not representing the device in the best light. The contrast is overblown, the text enhancements is not really something that's favorable for smaller type of fonts. But the good thing is that if you spend enough time, you will find the settings that basically kind of help you actually get the best what you want out of the device. So once all of this has been set, I mean, this is a really difficult image for e-ink devices to render, yet it's managing to handle all of these shades of green in a really good way. So now let's pump up the front light to let's see, 50%. See if it's starting to wash the colors out a bit. Nope, it's just enhancing them a bit. And if we go all the way to 100, no, they're not washed out. They're actually starting to look quite good. So the balancing of the front light is done well, I believe. I'm going to turn it off for the purpose of continuing this review. But this to me looks really good. Once I've turned off the optimizations and all of these things. So by default, I really didn't like how it looked like, but once I figured things out, what it is that I was reacting to, I was able to set it to my liking, so that I can actually enjoy the content being presented. And the good thing about it is that the device is most definitely capable of delivering a very nice type of image content and quality. All right, and now let's check out a graphic novel type of content, and this time again I want to disable. It didn't remember my custom settings. I don't understand why. So I'm going to disable all of this stuff, get it to normal, make sure that we are okay. Let's fully refresh on every okay, all the time, or every 5th time. Okay, that's that. And let's see what the default quality is here like. It's okay, but I'm having an issue with the ghosting thing because I'm unable to set it to every page is 0. Let's try and set it to 1. There we go. That's what I wanted. So after every operation, I should get a full refresh to eliminate ghosting. Good. So this is looking okay. Let's check different color profiles here and see what we get with vivid. Yes, and optimal, better. So vivid explodes things quite a bit, and then you can see that it's nice for colors, but it is putting a little bit too much accent here. This is something that you may want and may like for comic books, but for me personally, optimal I think is a better one. Yeah, because especially in paler images, it just offers a nice, very nice type of rendition of colors and content as well. All right, so that definitely works. Let's flip over to a black and white content here. This is also quite good. There we go. So black and white type of content working fairly well, I believe. Yeah, I would characterize this as really good. Okay, so that works. Double paged here. Nice sharpness. We get the 300 ppi on the black and white content. And the contrast is fairly good. So I have my same settings here. Now I don't want these types of settings, and the buttons are by default in a Kobo app are a volume. Of course, you can set these things up, and then you would need to set it up, and then it would work. It would have been nice if the default optimization settings for the app were downloaded when you download the app, so that you can just use the buttons, that you don't have to program them yourself. So if we go into vivid and we go into speed mode, let's see what do we get here as far as performance goes. Yep, good, but there's this kind of waiting time that's kind of strange. Again, it may be a settings type of thing, but it is kind of strange that you tap and you wait. But the image quality and the renderings of characters is absolutely satisfactory and really sharp. So this is something that works well. The important thing here is that even if I zoom out and make them really small, like smaller than what we saw on the document there, I can see that the clarity of characters, the rendering and the clarity of the characters is excellent. And why I would actually test this? Well, I would test this because that I wanted to make sure that what I reacted to was not device related, it was not hardware, it was software. So this confirms to me that the device and the screen absolutely can have really crisp rendering of characters even on a small scale, but what I was reacting to was something with the eReader PDF settings or something like that. All right, so this is the standard cover that we've had for the Boox page as well. So we got the magnet snapping here. It's overall a very elegant package like it was before. It's not something that I would characterize as a protective cover. This is simply a flipbook cover, mainly because it's magnetic, it's not a mechanical thing, and it doesn't cover any of the sides. So don't expect a case or anything like that. This is simply a flipbook cover, protects your screen and protects the back of the device. What I really like about it is that it's super elegant and it's very thin. It just fits the product perfectly. That's not always the case with these things, and this is definitely a case with this. So you can power it, you can listen to it, you can charge it, you can change everything, so you can do everything that you would normally do. Then you flip it open. Yes, there's a magnet on the back to hold it. It's stronger than the magnet that's holding the device. So if you want to flip it back, they maybe overdid it a bit, because you need to hold the back one and then flip it over, right? Not a bit too enthusiastic with the back magnet there. The internal surface is very nice and smooth, and it holds the device not well. So here, if I can just slip it like this and pick it up, yes. But if I were to just even a slight push or pull just takes the device off. And also, if I keep it like this, it cannot lift it. It lifts there and sets it down. So no, don't treat it as what it is. It's gonna hold your device kind of okay, but it can easily slip out of the cover. But it sure looks pretty. It's very elegant. It feels nice under the hand. It's lightweight and not really that thick. And overall, it just makes a nice package. It's just that it doesn't really hold the device that well. Well, okay, I expected a lot and I hoped for a lot from the Go Color 7, simply because Page was such a good little e-reader that it just made sense that this should improve upon it. And initially I was a little bit disappointed and a little bit surprised with the results, because the image quality was not what I was expecting. And it turns out that most of it, if not all of it, was down to the default settings. As soon as I started actually fixing the default settings, because they were not that good at all, the situation started to improve. However, I'm still not 100% sure or sold on the crispness of everything. So I have to dive into the settings of this one even further to see, because I think that there might be something that's still doing some kind of filtering and something that's not allowing the device to display as crisply and as sharply as it can, because in eReader the text is not as crisp and sharp as it is in the everywhere else, right? So in the website, in the apps, under other apps, and in the icons themselves. So I know that the device is absolutely capable of doing that, and I've seen that also in the Kobo app. So I have to dig into the eReader to see what other default settings have they set so that it is not actually favoring the device. And the reason why I'm doing this is that so that you guys know, if you are actually buying this, that what steps to take, and to include that in the in-depth review that's gonna come, to basically give you an advice what to look out for and how to get the maximum out of this really excellent little reader. So the negatives, I think the default settings definitely a negative, and for me the negative would be the buttons here, as I've mentioned, and also they're a little too smooth. They're not as clicky and as nice as they were on the BigMe B751C. So those buttons are much nicer, and they do have a split between them. However, the build quality looks really nice, and I really like the back here. It gives a nice kind of tactile feel of not holding something cold in just a piece of technology, but actually holding something that has a chance to be a bit more personable. Those are my first impressions, and I'm looking forward to actually spending time with this one and testing it out so that I can bring you the in-depth review in about 2 weeks or so. I hope that you found the video interesting and or informative. If you did, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell in the description below to get notified when new videos come out on my deep guide. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!